What made me get into streaming? Let me think. Well, okay, I started streaming in 2014, I want to say. I started back in Destiny 1 days, like near the very beginning. One of my friends was a streamer here on Twitch. He still is. And he had a pretty big following, or at least to me it was a pretty big following. It's like 1,000 followers. And, like he and I would talk about it, and I guess I just wanted to try, even though like I was 15 at the time. Like, well, why not, right? Like, if I'm playing these games all the time, why not just stream too in case something happens, I guess, yeah. It's like gaming is my number one hobby anyways. I might as well stream in case people want to watch. Well, yeah, it always is, cause yeah, it is hard at first. Cause like people, because you're not known yet. Well, I mean, I guess I'm still kind of not known, but you know what I mean. Like, it's hard to get that first following. Thankfully, since he was a streamer himself and still is, he would occasionally say like, "Hey, go follow my friend, Future Goddess. Like, she just started out streaming," and some people would come over. So that's how I got like some of my first followers. Were him just saying like, "Hey, we're playing Destiny together. You should go check her out." If I hadn't have had him to do that though, it would have taken so much longer for me to get any type of followers at all, because there's so many people streaming on Twitch all the time, and especially if you have like 0 viewers, 1 viewer, like most people do, you're at the very bottom of the list. So it I don't know, it's hard for people to find you. But like I said, thankfully I had his help to kind of like shout me out on his channel. Like, even though he's not a huge channel himself, but yeah, thankfully I had his help. Well, did I want to give up? Well, I've definitely taken breaks from streaming. I haven't streamed like non-stop since I started. I mean, I made this Future Goddess account. This is a newer account. I started originally on a different one, and cause I wanted to have an account that matched my name on PlayStation, and I think back at that time you couldn't change your Twitch name, if I remember. So I had to make a whole new account, and not all of my followers followed me over. So I like almost started over, and yeah, I've taken breaks. I've only just recently, in like the past year maybe, like really started to get back into streaming. Yeah, cause I mean, especially since I was going through like high school at that point, it's hard to have a good schedule when you're in school, because like you have homework, you're at school for the majority of the day anyways. It was just a weird time for me to try to have this be like a major thing in my life. So yeah, I definitely took breaks during high school where I just didn't stream at all. But I graduated 2 years ago. I graduated in 2018, And like, even though I am in college, I have way less classes, and the homework, I don't have as much homework as I did in high school, so I definitely have more time to commit to stuff like this now. Of course, it'll be different if I do get a job, because I did have a job for a while before all of this coronavirus stuff. Yeah, if I do get a job, obviously that's gonna definitely cut into my time here. I don't know, yeah. Streaming's hard. Like, it doesn't seem like it, but it is. What would I like to achieve through streaming? Well, I know that this is never going to be my full-time job. Unlike some streamers, like the really big ones, this will never be my full-time job. So I'm not looking to make it my full-time job either. I have other stuff that I want to do with my life. I'm not doing it for the money. For the fame. um well, no, because I'm an introvert. I'm a pretty quiet person. I know I might not seem like it over stream because I talk to you guys a lot. But like in person, I'm pretty quiet. Um I don't like a bunch of attention. Um I guess I'm doing it just to make some friends, cheer some people up. I mean, just earlier today, one of my viewers came in and he was thanking me for streaming so that he could have a place to get away from other stuff that's going on in life. And like, that's what I want. It's just to have a little community here, because there's only like 400 of us, and they, of course, not all 400 ever show up, but we have a nice small little community here where we all can just be ourselves, have a place to escape from the world. Because especially now with this virus has been going on for pretty much all of this year so far. It's nice to have an escape, to kind of just forget about everything else that's going on for a little while and just have fun. Watch me miss my shots in my games or rage, stuff like that. I just want to give people a place to come to and just be happy, because like I know how hard it is to be happy sometimes. I've definitely been through my my low points. But yeah, I just want to give them a place to relax, If I had the opportunity to be a big streamer, would I? I mean, okay, I probably still wouldn't have this be my full-time job. I mean, I would definitely keep doing it if I was a big streamer, and I guess it'd be like my part-time job. But I would definitely want to have a different job that I could go to outside of this. 'Cause like I'm narrowing down what I want to do now that I'm in college. I don't have a major yet, but with like the classes that I've been taking and what I took in high school, I'm narrowing in on what I want to do. In high school, I took American Sign Language classes. That's the language that I was learning in high school. And this quarter in college, I've been taking classes that focus on working with children, and like children with disabilities, or just like children of different races, cultures, stuff like that. I think that's what I want to do. I want to work. I think I've almost made up my mind. I want to work with other kids. I want to work either with kids that are deaf or just maybe like just kids in general, because I feel like I'd work pretty well with them. Obviously, like I would have to like test it out and see how I actually do around kids, but yeah, I would definitely want that to be like if maybe if I could be like a volunteer teacher or like a sub or something like that, I would do that and stream. I would not want to do streaming for my full-time job. Would you say it's tough given the games you play to get the following you want? Okay, so if you play a really popular game, either one of two things could happen. Either one, since it's so popular, a lot of people find you and they watch you. Or the second, it's too popular of a game and there's too many people streaming it, so it's harder for people to find you. So, I mean, like I play Apex and I play I guess out of all the games I play, Apex might be like, well, the ones that I stream at least. Apex is the most popular one, and it is like out of my regular following of people, I don't get new people that often, just because there's so many people that stream it. If I go play like a story game though, like if I played Tomb Raider, or I played the Uncharted series, I would get new people sometimes because the game wasn't as popular, um, especially at the time that I played it. There weren't as many other people streaming it, so it was easier for people to find me. But I mean, also it wasn't on the other side, it wasn't as popular, so there weren't as many people just watching that game in general. So I mean, there's always the two sides where you could pick a popular game and you may or may not get found, or you could pick one that's not quite as popular, maybe have a better chance of being found, but there's just not as many people in general watching the game. So I don't know. I I mainly just rely on the community that I have already. Uh, I don't expect a lot of new people to find me. I'm pretty good with where I'm at. I don't need too many more people. I'm good. Okay. Any setbacks or times where I got discouraged to keep streaming? Well, I mean, it's always when you first start, I guess. When you're, I would say probably before I even got affiliate, because I'm sitting there, I'm streaming, and there's one person watching me, and that one person is me, because I have it up on my phone so that I can look at my chat. And it gets really frustrating the longer you're at that one viewer or two viewers, because you're like, I'm taking my time to do the streaming and no one's here, no one's finding me. Like, I guess yeah, that's probably the hardest time, is when it's just you, cuz you just think like, should I even just keep the stream going? Should I just end it? Um should I even stream tomorrow? Is anyone going to find me tomorrow? What's the point, basically? You're a wonderful streamer. It's been a pleasure doing this interview and you taking time to answer a few questions. Anything you want to say to the audience watching this? Any message you want to send out to people who are starting to stream? Well, I guess I would just say it's going to be really hard in the beginning. And when I say beginning, there's no set time for your beginning of your channel. You could go. So it just all depends. Some people get found really fast, and their channel's only small for maybe a couple months. And then there's others, I would say, I guess like me. I've been a pretty small streamer for a couple of years, so like I would say this is still like the beginning points of my channel, but the beginning is always going to be really hard. You're going to go through those days where no one watches you, and it's just going to be you streaming to yourself. And those days are always going to be really hard, but I mean, if you stick to it, if you start making a schedule for yourself, saying like, okay, I'm going to stream from this time to this time, then maybe I'll take a little bit of a break and then I'll stream from this time to this time, kind of like what I do. I take a break to go eat and then I come back. If you start setting up a schedule so that people know when to expect you, when people do come to your channel, if you're welcoming, if you're welcoming to them, if you interact with them, the chances of them staying and maybe becoming a long-time viewer you have a lot higher chances of that. If you don't interact with someone when they come to your channel, they're just going to go to the next one. I struggled with this at the beginning because I didn't always want to use my mic. I didn't want to talk to people because, well, I mean, one, I don't like my own voice, but I was worried of what people would think of my voice and like realizing that I'm a girl and stuff, because it's always been mixed reactions. But if you interact with your viewers whenever they happen to show up at whatever point during your streaming, if you try to make a schedule for yourself, I mean, obviously you can't always stick to a schedule because life happens, things change, but if you can make a schedule, interact with your viewers, try not to stream too many different games. I think that's probably something that I struggle with sometimes. Because if someone comes in because they see you playing Apex, for example, and then you switch to a totally different game, like one way out there, the complete opposite of Apex, that person that found you on Apex probably isn't going to want to watch you play that other game. So I would say don't do too many different games, or at least not too many that are too different. That's why I just stick to a couple games now, just so people kind of know what I'm going to stream, like what types of games and stuff like that. That'll definitely help you. I think that's all I got, other than good luck. It's hard to compete with so many other people on here, but I mean, it's also good to go out and find other streamers and become friends with them. And maybe you become friends with some of their viewers. I mean, I did that recently with John Sims. We just happened to find each other in a Apex match. I went to his Twitch channel, and now some of his viewers pop into my stream for a little bit, and it's nice because we share. I mean, obviously he has his community, I have mine, but we have a little bit in common now, and it makes things more fun. I don't know what other word to use. I mean, obviously, like, you don't want to go to someone's channel, self-promote yourself, and then just leave. Because that's not the way to go about it. That's just wrong in my eyes. Like, even though I've only known John for a couple days, I think of him as a friend now, like an actual friend. I'm not there just to steal all of his viewers and then like stuff like that. Like, I genuinely want to be his friend. I want to be friends with his viewers. You know, stuff like that. So I guess interacting with viewers, schedule not too many different types of games, and then maybe go out to Twitch yourself when you're not streaming and try to find other communities out there to be a part of.